most of the time it's not about socialization. Most of the time is they can't handle themselves. They can't sit with their emotions. They can't sit with their thoughts. They can't sit and evaluate their lives. They always want to have people around them. And this is mostly for people who suffered from the wounds of rejection. I'll be talking about types of wounds and how they can, and how you can know which you could be hurting from. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Counselor Lois Wambui. I am a counseling psychologist and a life coach. And we are continuing with this journey of healing the inner self, because when we heal the inner child and when we honor and acknowledge our deep wounds, in our inner self, we are able to nurture and acknowledge the feelings that have been repressed in our subconscious for so long. So as you can see, the name of the video is how a wounded inner child shows up in a relationship. Because so many relationships, they are having problems today, not because of the people that we are relating with. And in the end, today I'm talking about romantic relationships. Sometimes you find that a person is projecting their inner pain to their partner. Their partner has no problem. Maybe they are doing the best that they can. But again, that projection, because of the inner wounds, is what is making this relationship to be messy. I don't want to undermine the fact that there are relationships that are toxic in nature. I don't want to undermine there are people who are abusive and doing all sorts of things. But most of the time you find that even these people who are abusive, these people who are toxic, if you look at the genesis of their toxicity and the abuse and everything, you realize that there is a disconnect between them growing up and where they are right now. There are things that they have repressed, there are things that they have carried forward to the lives that they are having now as adults. And I said, when childhood trauma isn't addressed, it can resurface in many aspects of our adult life. And that's why today we want to be so specific, dealing with childhood traumas in our romantic relationships. And maybe just to give some indicators that can show you you have a wounded inner child in a relationship. And one of them is lack of boundaries and being a people pleaser. This is a big one. Because when the reason why we have boundaries in our lives, boundaries are limits. The reason why we have these boundaries is because we want to protect ourselves, and we also want to have that personal space. And there are people who will allow their partner to just walk over the boundaries that they have set for their lives. So when you don't have boundaries, and boundaries are in so many forms. For example, the physical boundaries. Physical boundaries, it's all about your personal space. How far are you comfortable with this person coming? How far? Are you comfortable with them sitting right next to you, or would you prefer, some space for yourself? Maybe you have spoken that and they have not honored it, but you're so scared of calling it out because you don't know how this person is going to react. Another kind of boundary is boundaries relating to intimacy. There are people who are not comfortable with what we call the PDA, the public display of affection. And maybe you have communicated that, and your partner is still insisting. They have to hold your hand. They have to kiss you in public. They have to do all this kind of gymnastics with you in public. And if you have not if you have communicated to them, they have done that, but you are still there and you are still, you know, allowing it to happen. This means it's not about you, but it is about that inner child who was never given time to let their thoughts count, or to let their emotions count. So it is so important for you to communicate well and to call it out when it is surpassed. Financial boundaries, what else? Intellectual boundaries, all those kind of boundaries. If you have allowed people to overstep your boundaries, what I simply mean, if you have allowed your partner to overstep your boundaries, that means you really need to deal with how you are raised. You need to deal with the wounds that came with your growing up. Another way that you can know that your childhood traumas, they are resurfacing in your relationship, is when you are extremely jealous and you have controlling behaviors. Because when, for example, for people who suffer from abandonment wounds, they always feel like people are out to exploit them and then leave them just like that. And that's why they become so overly protective and overly possessive of the people in their lives. It is very much subconscious. And sometimes you may wonder, why is this guy or why is this lady so jealous? I mean, I'm not doing anything bad, but they are always suspicious of my actions. It's not them, but it is the wounds or the child that is within, that was abandoned, that was hurt, that was not taken care of. It is the one, he or she is the one that is talking in this relationship, and that's why you have to heal. Another thing is staying in unhealthy, abusive, or incompatible relationship. This relationship, you just know it's not going anywhere, it's not headed anywhere. But because you fear so much being left alone, you fear the scripts of your childhood being repeated in your, and it is not consciously. I want you to know that all these fears, all these emotions, they don't happen in the in the conscious mind, but they play in the subconscious. And when they play in the subconscious, they are so real. You may not identify them as such, but the behaviors that you're exhibiting on the outside, they can tell that it is not really you, but it is about whatever is repressed or in the subconscious. So you stay in an abusive relationship. You stay in an incompatible relationship. Incompatible means, you know, I mean, we are not going anywhere with this person. Yes, this person is good. This person is a friend to me. This person is beautiful. They are handsome and everything, but there is no chemistry. But because you are here and you have told yourself over and over again, because of the repressed emotions again, that you cannot find a better person than them. That's why you endure in these abusive, hurtful relationships. Another way, maybe I think this is number 4, trying to change or to fix your partner. And this is a big one. This is a big one, especially for the ladies. We feel like we can change them. We can change the men in our lives. Some of them are so trashy. Some of them they do all kind of things. But because your inner child keeps on telling you you cannot get better, keeps on telling you, you know, this is all there is. You are not validated enough when you are growing up. Nobody took really good care of you when you are growing up. And so even this person who is coming and they are doing all these kind of things to you, you know, you go out there, you know, you give yourself out there, and all you want is to change them. All you want is to fix them. So if you're in such a scenario, know that it is your wounded inner child who is calling shots in this relationship. Another way is that you are easily triggered, anger outbursts, and exaggerated emotions. And I know this used to be so me. Getting triggered so easily. You just needed to do something very small to trigger me, and I could have all these kind of anger outbursts, and for me, what would happen is that I would cry, that uncontrollable tears. They're just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. And sometimes somebody will look at it. I'm not undermining any bad thing that happens to us, but there are issues that you easily, you just brush them off. You just, okay, I'm not going to react to this. This is just so minute. But for somebody with a hurting inner child, they will exaggerate. The ones we say that they'll build a mountain out of out of an anthill. They'll build a really big mountain. So something bad has happened in this relationship. Maybe you are supposed to call them at a certain time, and you failed to call, and they will be there, saying all kinds of things, exaggerating that whole situation, and it will look such a big deal. And they are not ranting to you. They are not, it's not about you. The projection, maybe it's about a parent who forgot maybe to pick them up in school, or a parent who forgot to pack their lunches, or something that happened when they were growing up, an abuse that happened when they are growing up, and now this is the time now they are finding it right to unleash everything. Another one, and I know this is a big one, is fear of abandonment. If there is a classic representation of childhood traumas, it is the fear of abandonment, the inability to be alone, the inability to enjoy your own company. Do you know there are people who really can't handle themselves? They can't handle staying with themselves. They always want company. They always want people around them. And sometimes we say these are social, we call them social animals. And most of the time it's not about socialization. Most of the time is they can't handle themselves. They can't sit with their emotions. They can't sit with their thoughts. They can't sit and evaluate their lives. They always want to have people around them. And this is mostly for people who suffered from the wounds of rejection. I'll be talking about types of wounds and how they can, and how you can know which you could be hurting from. People who are rejected when they were young, and even when they were growing up, they always want to prove themselves to people that you people, you can love me, you people, you can accept me. It's all about proving themselves. So it's not about even finding company. It's not about wanting people to be to be around them, but it's about proving a point. So if you have these clingy behaviors that you can call your boyfriend or your girlfriend so many times in a day, or your husband, you always want to know where they are, even when they are in the house, or you are seated somewhere. You cannot sit across each other. You always want to sit next to each other. You are so clingy to this person. It is not about you. It is about the inner child that is within, and that's why it's so good to heal. Let me tell you, I cannot overemphasize the importance of healing. Because when you heal, you're able to stand yourself. You're able to, to tolerate yourself. You're able to sit with yourself. You can have that relationship with you. You can take yourself out for dates. You can do good things to yourself. You can take care of yourself. Because another way that you can know that a wounded inner child is showing up in your relationship is when you always put the needs of your partner first. There's nothing wrong with caring about this person that you are dating, or this person that you are married to. But even the word of God says that you love your neighbor as you love yourself. So the most important relationship that you should have is with yourself. Once in a while, put yourself first. I know this is not easy, especially for some of us who it's not a default setting in some of us. It has always been the other person. It has always been, fulfilling the needs of the other person, and then we can fulfill our own needs. But if you are always doing that, please, it's time to reevaluate your inner self. It's time to look deep down and ask yourself, how much do I prioritize myself? Because somebody once said, you cannot expect somebody to prioritize you if you're not prioritizing yourself. So it's a high time you heal and you are able to accept yourself as you are. You're able to just sort yourself out. And I always tell people, you don't come into a relationship to complete the other person or to be completed by the other person. You should be so whole by yourself. You should be so confident by yourself that you're not going to give the other person the whole burden of, quote unquote, completing you. And being whole means healing. And healing means working inside out, working yourself from the inside, confronting those uncomfortable feelings, confronting those uncomfortable emotions, navigating through them, opening up those wounds, because some of these wounds, they're even septic, they are oozing, they are not pleasant to look at. But if you want to live a wholesome life, if you want to be a blessing to the person that you are entertaining in your life, that you are inviting in your life as a partner, as a husband or as a wife, as a girlfriend or as a boyfriend, the most important person that you should look into, it should be your inner self. How is your inner environment? How are you when you are by yourself? If this person is not with you, are you able to hold on until they come, or will you panic, wondering, did they leave me? Are they okay? What's going on in this relationship? So that is a sign that if you're always clinging to this person, if you fear, like your worst fear when you're with this person is, you always ask yourself, now wakaniacha, what will happen when they leave me? And I know this used to be so me. And I remember I never used to. I used to be so clingy to people because I didn't know how to stay with me, and it's such a red flag. Let me tell you. Another thing is fear of vulnerability, fear of commitment, and also fear of deep intimacy. You fear giving yourself away. As much as you are clingy, as much as you are, you are with this person and you don't want them to leave you. At the same time, you're not giving yourself 100%. You're not giving yourself out to them 100%. Why? Because in the past, you've been hurt. In the past, the program, the computer in your mind tells you, if you give yourself fully to this person, they definitely are going to hurt you, and I'm sure you're not ready for that. So what happens? You tiptoe in relationships. You are here, but it's like you are not here. So you fear commitment. And I know this used to be me. And let me tell you, when I talk about inner childhood, when I talk about inner self, everything that I talk about is so relevant to me. Because I could not commit. I fear committing myself in relationships. Because I knew, and I remember even telling my boyfriend then, who is my husband now, I used to tell him, I don't know, I feel like one day you'll just wake up and leave me. And he would, it must have been so tiring for him to keep on reassuring me that, I'm here to stay. Yeah, we are going to make this work. But I could not I could not bring my, until a time when I started confronting my fears, I could not bring myself to commit to any relationship. They fear deep intimacy, heart to heart. It's not easy for them. And also being vulnerable. My goodness. This is a big one. This used to be a big one for me. Being vulnerable in a place where I will be embarrassed. Not me. I would avoid that situation like plague. I could not just bring myself to a point where okay, it's a journey. I'm not yet there yet, but I can say that I'm not where I used to be. I also, it is also the inability to receive love, self-betrayal. Maybe I can talk about the first part, inability to receive love. This is a person, you will love them, you will assure them that you are there for them, but because it's not in their subconscious, nobody has loved them. I remember talking to a young lady the other day. I was doing counseling with them, and she was telling me there's no way somebody can love them. There's no way somebody can love her just like, genuinely. It doesn't matter whether it is a romantic relationship. It doesn't matter whether it is a friend, or even a relative, or even a parent, because apparently she was abandoned by her mom when she was very young, and she learned never to trust people, even with her with her heart, quote unquote. And so this person, no matter how much you try to convince them that you love them, that you are there for them, they cannot accept it. So if you're in a relationship and you know that receiving love to you is an uphill task, you always feel like this love is pegged on something. Imagine you need to heal. You actually really sincerely need to heal, because there are people who can love you. There are people who are out there to just shower love upon you, but now you are hindering it because you are seeing that love through the lenses of your childhood traumas and your childhood wounds. So it's so important to heal. Also, self-betrayal, self-sabotage. Like even the ones that you speak in this relationship, they are just so negative. Words such as, I don't know if I can ever make a good husband or a good wife to you. I don't know if I can never, make a good mother or a good father to our children. I don't, and especially that phrase, I don't know. That used to be like my default, and every time I would be like, I don't know, and I could repeat it so many times because I felt there are so many things that I didn't know. And it's not that I didn't know. It's just that the self-sabotage, that self-betrayal, it is the one that used to talk all the time, because I was seeing everything again through the lenses of my childhood traumas. So it's so important for us to heal, even as we are getting into relationships, because when we heal, we come whole in relationships, and we are not burdening the other person to always be there for us, assuring us, talking us, trying to make us feel good about ourselves. It's good for you to do the inner childhood work and do it diligently, and it will affect all aspects of our life. So guys, thank you so much. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this video and you've learned from this video. I want you to subscribe to my channel. Please help me grow this channel. Subscribe, tune in the notification bell, and also comment. If you have been in a relationship or you are in a relationship and you know that you are projecting all this, comment and tell me so that we are able to walk you through the journey of healing the inner child. My contact details are in the comment section, and also follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and let us continue these conversations on those platforms. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.